Welcome back to The Critique. Today we're looking at a huge document, Greg's 2026 Transformation Plan.
It's a massive undertaking.
It is. It's trying to fuse a hyper-local business, The Looper, with Chase Hughes' behavioral work, some Dan Coe and Vadim Zeland's Transurfing.
All in a 78-day sprint. It's ambitious.
Very. So let's get right into it. The plan makes a great case for why Greg 3.1 needs all these tools. But the first thing that really jumps out is that it tries to fuse two, fundamentally opposing psychological frameworks.
That's the immediate crack in the foundation, isn't it?
It's Chase Hughes's authority on one side and Vadim Zeland's transurfing on the other. And there's no bridge.
No, and it's a dangerous gap. When you really dig into Chase Hughes, especially behavior ops or influence, his whole model is the operator mindset.
It's all about control.
Exactly. It's hierarchical. You establish dominance, you seize control, you use that authority triangle, behavior, effect, habits, and you are actively, manipulating the mammalian brain.
Your own and the other person's. It's very active. It's very grip the world by the throat.
Right. And then you have Vadim Zeland, who explicitly warns against that exact thing.
He literally calls it creating excess potential.
Yes. And Zeland's physics are pretty clear on this. If you grab the world by the throat, the world is going to fight back.
So the weakness here, for Greg, is trying to be this digital mayor, which is all about high importance, high control, while also trying to surf, which demands low importance, letting go.
You can't do both at once. If you bring that Chase Hughes aggression to the metaphysical mirror of the world, you just create a pendulum effect.
And that's just going to drain his energy.
Completely. Because he'll be pushing against the mirror instead of just letting the reflection form. You can't be a sniper and a monk at the exact same moment.
So the suggestion here has to be compartmentalization. He has to decide where each philosophy applies.
Precisely. You have to build a psychological firewall. You can't be an operator and a transurfer in the same breath.
But you can be them in different contexts.
That's it. So draw a hard line. Chase Hughes methods, they apply strictly to the external, business execution. The Looper, the Marketing Academy, that's the battleground.
Okay, let's make that concrete. It's Tuesday morning, pressure's on. What does that actually look like?
Okay, so Greg's filming a TikTok short, or he's in a room pitching a franchise consultant.
Right.
In that specific window of time, he is the operator. Period. That's when he uses the 6-axis model of influence. He's using the authority tripwires, his movement, his chin level, his appearance, just projecting total confidence.
He's the alpha in that room.
He has to be. That's what Zeland would call inner intention, direct action. You're allowed to grip the wheel here.
Okay, so where does transurfing fit in then? How do you avoid the conflict?
Transurfing gets applied strictly to his internal state, to outcome management. So here's the scenario. The content automation queue fails, or a media placement deal stalls.
The operator instinct is to force it.
The Chase Hughes instinct is to get angry, push harder, spike your cortisol, which creates polarization.
And that creates the balancing forces Zeland is always talking about.
Exactly. So in that moment, Greg has to switch. He applies Zeland's sigh of relief principle. Instead of forcing it, he visualizes the goal slide. The deal is already done. The portfolio is full.
Ah, so you let outer intention handle the snack.
You let it resolve itself without you pumping energy into the pendulum of stress. So operator hands on the wheel, transurfer's heart in the passenger seat. If you mix them up, you lose.
That's a critical distinction. Okay, action versus attachment. Let's move on. The daily routine, the master operating system. It provides a ton of structure, but it's missing the specific agitation that the fear model says you need to actually reprogram your brain.
This is such a classic trap for high performers. We see the schedule. 6.5 hours of high-leverage work, meal protocols, strategy mode. It's a beautiful spreadsheet.
But it's static.
It is. And Chase Hughes, in his brainwashing goal sheet, he argues the mammalian brain, the part that's actually driving you, it needs novelty and agitation to overwrite old scripts.
So the argument is that even a productive routine lets the brain just slip back into autopilot.
And autopilot is the enemy of transformation. The plan assumes discipline is enough.
Which it isn't.
No. Discipline is cognitive. It's a resource that runs out. Brainwashing is a mammalian requirement. Dan Coe says this too, right? You aren't where you want to be because you aren't the person who would be there.
Right.
So if Greg sits at the same desk, same room, same time every day, the lizard brain just thinks Greg 2.0 is working harder. Not that Greg 3.1 has shown up. The environment is too predictable.
Okay, so to strengthen this, the suggestion is the schedule has to be intentionally disrupted. You have to force the reticular activating system to wake up and pay attention.
We need to put the A from the fear formula back in, agitation. The schedule needs to be an assault on the old environment. Stop being so efficient and start being disruptive.
Okay, give us some concrete examples. How does Greg agitate his own brain?
First, physically rearrange the office. Not just once. Do it every Sunday. Break all the spatial associations with Greg 2.0. Desk facing the wall, move it to the window.
Change the lighting, swap the chair.
Make the lizard brain walk in on Monday morning and go, wait, where am I? That little moment of confusion is the doorway for the new script.
And what about visual stimuli? Hughes talks about that.
He does. The big-ass TV. During those strategy mode blocks, he shouldn't just be staring at his monitor. He needs a big screen in his peripheral vision, playing a slideshow. 800, 900 images of the digital mayor lifestyle. On a loop.
Fast cuts?
Super fast. Half a second per image. It bypasses the conscious mind and just programs the reticular formation directly. It's passive brainwashing while you work.
I love that. Are there other triggers he can use?
Absolutely. Pattern interrupts. When he's transitioning between, say, biological requirements and production requirements, use a sensory trigger.
Like what?
A specific piece of music that is only for Greg 3.1. Maybe some aggressive funk or binaural beats. Or a cold exposure trigger, like an ice face bath. It just screams to the mammalian brain that the script has changed. You have to startle the animal inside to get it to follow you.
If you don't, it just hits the snooze button.
Exactly. It's a hard break from the past self. Which brings us to Dan Coe's work.
The anti-vision? The plan uses it, but it feels like it could collide with transurfing's dual mirror principle.
This is a high-level metaphysical risk for sure. Dan Coe says to create an anti-vision, right? This brutal, painful awareness of the life you don't want.
Reflect on the life you hate.
It's meant to generate drive through disgust. But Vadim Zeland says the mirror of the world reflects whatever you focus on, good or bad.
The mirror is neutral. It doesn't care if you love it or hate it.
Right, so if Greg focuses too heavily on that painful list of habits, or the nightmare scenario, the transurfing model says reality will start to align with that nightmare.
If you stand in front of a mirror screaming, "I hate this ugly shirt,"
the mirror just shows you the ugly shirt. It doesn't give you a new one. By using failure as motivation, he might accidentally be feeding energy into that negative timeline.
So the weakness is that he's illuminating the very part of the variance space he wants to avoid.
Yes, it's the classic don't think of a pink elephant problem, but on a metaphysical scale.
So how do we fix this? How does he use it safely?
You use the anti-vision as propellant only for the decision phase, what Coy calls the dissonance phase. The moment the decision is made, you drop it. Instantly.
So it's a one-time ritual.
Ideally, yeah. Do the psychological excavation, feel the disgust, let it burn the ships, and then you never look back. Burn the paper it's written on.
And what takes its place?
The goal slide. For example, the plan mentions the old man filter photo idea from Chase Hughes.
To induce fear of wasted time.
Forget that. I'd suggest Greg use that photo but flip the script completely. Instead of looking at it with fear, he should look at it with the transferring unity of heart and mind. He should see that future self as the master who has already succeeded.
That's a subtle change, but wow, that's powerful.
It shifts the energy from avoiding failure to aligning with success. And in the Looper business plan, he lists off-brand industries to avoid.
Right.
Get rid of it. Don't focus on them. Don't obsess over who you won't work with. Focus entirely on the reader ICP, the high earners, the 150K plus crowd. Visualize the gated microsites already full of sponsors. The vision board must only have the positive outcome on it.
So you acknowledge the shadow once, to push off the wall, then you only swim toward the light.
Perfectly put.
Okay, let's move to the business strategy itself, the Looper model. Right now, it treats Greg's local guide as a funnel.
It does.
But I think it needs to be reframed as a mirror reflection to really get the transurfing mechanics to work.
This is where the rubber meets the road. The current plan views the content, the TikToks, the YouTube stuff, as proof of work to pitch businesses. The vibe is, hey, I made this, want more? It's a sales tool.
And in transurfing terms, that's all internal intention.
It is. It's pushing. It carries the energy of wanting, which implies lacking. Zealand says, the world agrees with what you think about it. If the subtext of your content is please hire me, the mirror just reflects a person who is trying to get hired.
Not a person who is the authority.
Exactly. It feels like a resume, not a reality. It's creating excess potential.
So the suggestion is to shift the whole content strategy to function as outer intention.
Yes. Create the content as if the status of digital mayor is already a done deal. It's an established fact, not a pitch.
How does that actually change what he's filming?
Okay, when he's filming those Greg's Local Guide shorts, he's not structuring them as auditions. He's not thinking, I hope a restaurant owner sees this and calls me.
No.
No. He's structuring them as the Woodlands Loop, explicitly covering the best of the area because that's what the digital mayor does. The energy shifts from, please look at me, to here is the value.
That's a posture shift from sales to sovereignty.
Huge shift. And he needs to adopt the transurfing rule. Give yourself permission to be yourself and allow others to be different. If a business doesn't want the recognition package, fine. Don't chase. Don't try to convince. Just move on.
The plan mentions script transfer from Chase Hughes. How does that fit in?
Oh, it's the perfect bridge. Instead of pitching advertisers pay for placement, he should visualize the guide as a curated local intelligence page that already exists. So when Geck's on a sales call, he isn't selling. He's performing a script transfer.
Explain what that means here.
A pitch is, I have this thing. Do you want to buy it? A script transfer is, this train is already moving. It's successful. Do you want to step on?
You're just inviting them into a reality that's already running.
You're saying the train is leaving. Do you want on? Not, please help me build this train. It completely removes the sales resistance because there's no pressure. The reality exists with or without them.
And that is the absolute essence of transurfing. You're not fighting for a place in the sun. You're just stepping into the sector where the sun is already shining.
You assume the portfolio is full, so you act like it is.
Okay, this has been a really dense critique. Let's wrap this up with the main actionable takeaways. We need Greg to have a clear punch list.
Sure, let's do 4 distinct commands.
First,
Compartmentalize. Don't mix the streams. Use Chase Hughes aggressive tactics for business execution, period. Use transurfing for your internal state and for managing setbacks. Build that firewall.
second,
Agitate. Your master operating system is too predictable. You need biological disruption to overwrite the old you. Rearrange your office weekly. Use the big TV with a visual loop. Use sensory pattern interrupts, music, cold water to signal state changes.
third,
Shift focus. Use the anti-vision one time to burn the boats, then drop it. Never look back. Focus the mirror entirely on the goal slide. Flip the old man filter from a source of fear to a source of mastery.
and finally, the fourth?
Reframe. Stop treating your content like a sales pitch. That's inner intention. Treat it as a mirror reflection of the reality where you are already the digital mayor. Use outer intention to invite people into a script that's already running.
Greg, this is a solid 78-day plan. The pieces are all there, but the glue holding them together needed to be a bit stronger. These tweaks should ensure you aren't fighting yourself along the way.
The skyscraper is well designed. We just strengthened the foundation.
We want to hear how this goes. Submit a follow-up in 78 days. We want to know if the digital mayor has officially taken office.
Good luck, Greg.
This has been The Critique.